All right, everyone. The other day, RFK Jr. was talking about how processed food was poisonous. He is fundamentally correct in most ways. Simply adding preservatives, it kind of depends on which one you use. But there are two biggies, two big baddies that are in the food supply in the United States, almost systemically, that are almost impossible to avoid, and they can gunk up your system, your organ systems. RFK Jr. is not peddling conspiracy theories. He's simply fundamentally right. And there's an economic reason why this is in the food supply, by the way. Number one, corn syrup. Number two, soy lecithin. The reason why there's so much corn syrup and soy lecithin in the food supply, the latter mainly in baked goods, crackers, things like that, the former in, well, everything, is because it is cheap. And the reason why it's cheap is that it's overproduced. This is also why we give this material as food aid to other countries, and so forth. We add it to all the food. We even have to suppress, farming in parts of the country. Literally, the soil is so perfect for corn and soy that they pay farmers to let land go fallow. Well, while some people go hungry, other people are being literally disincentivized to plant, a million acres of potential food, but it's all corn and soy. Well, what happens if you don't do all of these things? The value of the corn and soy begins to fall. And so the farmers are incapable of actually turning a profit at all. It's not like, home farming, home gardening, niche markets and things like that where you have a high cost per item, for example. So what do? They'll grab up the corn. They'll just have it liquefied and pumped into everything that you eat. That chicken that you just ate is half corn, probably. Um, they do this with virtually everything. Try finding a product in the store of any bulk means that does not have these in it, unless you're eating just like raw food. Like even they probably inject the corn syrup into your fucking tomatoes too. That's why I like to grow as many of my own crops and forage for as many of my own crops as possible. I'd love to raise my own chickens and shit like that. I guarantee it'd be tastier if it was home raised. Um, but we have an epidemic of obesity. We have an epidemic of people younger and younger, by the way, getting cancer. The alarm bells are going off over that. And much of this has started over the last few decades. The reason why is partially dietary in nature. Part of it is the corn syrup, the soy lecithin, and all of the other chems and shit that they put in the food. Some of those are very bad for you. We know, for example, that aspartame, which I personally use every single day, I'm not going to stop my energy drink drinking, and I don't give a fuck. I don't care whether I live or die. Give me my energy drink. I need caffeine. We know, for example, that that can be a cohort to cancer development, but it's in the food supply. In some countries, they have banned it. There's a reason for this. By the way, the energy drinks in the Netherlands, far better, formulated slightly differently. You know, Red Bull gives you wings. I like the one with the monk fruit in it, and I like the red one. Let's put it that way. The thing is that we have a sick population. Many people in the population are obese, or at least overweight. Most of them live a sedentary lifestyle, get very little physical activity. Um, this is, again, by design. You have all of these substances in food that are clearly not good for you. I don't think that anyone says, hey, you know what? I take a shot of corn syrup every single morning. I feel great. I mean, I have to take my insulin right afterwards, but other than that, I feel pretty good. Nobody seriously says that. And there's a reason for that, because it would be retarded. The fact is that the population is being fed poison. Look at the ingredients. Most people don't do this. They don't even know what's in their food. Look at the ingredients next time you buy like a frozen dinner or something like that. I think that the results will astonish you. Oh, contains 10% soy and 5% corn syrup. And wait, I thought this was a steak. Nope, you were wrong. It's not a steak. It's a steak that's been heavily adulterated with cheap shit in order to cut it and to also economically incentivize more corn and soy being made. The same, by the way, and I believe RFK Jr. has actually pointed this out too, is true of fluoride. Why do you think that they put fluoride in the water? No reasonable medical expert would suspect that when every kid is brushing with fluoridated toothpaste and getting the fluoride trays anyway, that you need to involuntarily inundate adults especially, without their consent with fluoride. No reasonable person would think it was ethical or medically necessary. Most countries do not fluoridate their water supply, just to be clear. There's a reason for that. It's because of the production of fluoride as a byproduct of various manufacturing. Well, you can't dump it into a swamp because of regulations. Well, I mean, sometimes they dump it into lakes and shit, I guess, I believe. You can't dump it, and you can't just, bury it in a landfill or something. I know, we'll convince the public that a little bit of fluoride is perfectly fine for them, even though they're getting another little bit of fluoride and another little bit of fluoride on the side. This causes fluorosis. It causes skeletal issues. RFK Jr. is not being a conspiracy theorist. This has been discussed in mainstream medicine for a very long time. But yet they pretend that he is because guess what? He works for the Orange Man. And so everything that he says is going to be a conspiracy theory. That's literally the only reason. He is fundamentally correct. Junk food is bad for you. Now, if you're having like the occasional hamburger or something like that, it's perfectly fine. But this should be understood in the context of yesteryear, where this is an occasional sort of thing, like once a month or, less than that potentially. Okay, we went to McDonald's. We'll schedule our next visit for 4 months from now or something like that. That would be beneficial. And everyone should grow as many of their own vegetables and fruits as possible and forage as often as possible. I realize not everyone's at leisure to do so, but if you are, you can. And hey, you can always spread the wealth around, so to speak. I'm gonna have too many tomatoes probably this year for, the number that'll actually get eaten. So maybe I'll give some to the neighbors. That's about all. Peace out.